So what is biogas? So biogas is a typically refers to the gas produced by a breakdown of a organic matter in absence of a oxygen. In absence of a oxygen means it is an anaerobic condition. The oxygen is completely absent. Here the breaking down of the organic matter is takes place. So breaking down of the organic matter means here the matters which is undergo for the degradation or the um, bio degradation, and this biodegradation is takes place of the organic matter in the absence of your oxygen means in the anaerobic condition we are producing the one type of a gas, and that typical condition is known as the biogas. So biogas is typically referred to the gas produced by a breaking down of organic matter in the absence of oxygen. So this is a definition may ask in the question or the board, that is a defined biogas. So in that time you have to write down just this one sentence to get a 1 mark. So biogas is nothing but a gas production by the breaking down of organic matter in the absence of oxygen. It is the renewable energy source like a solar and the wind energy. So it is a renewable source, so that energy which can be previously used and again we have to use, again we have to use, this energy is to be the renewable source of this energy. So this is a renewable source of the energy like solar and wind, and can also be produced by the different raw material like sugarcane residue and the maize plant. So here we can produce the organic matter with the help of different type of the raw material like sugarcane residue. After using the sugarcane juice, we have a sugarcane raw material which is non-useful, and we can use that it for the biogas production. Again, the maize silage. When the maize is to be removed, then the remaining part of the plant is called as the maize silage, or this called as a farming. Then next one is to be the biogas is produced by the anaerobic digestion or the fermentation of a biodegradable material. So what is biogas is a, so biogas is produced by the anaerobic conditions, means there is an absence of the oxygen. So oxygen is not there, and due to the absence of the oxygen, biodegradable fermentation is takes place of a material like manure, sewage, municipal waste, green waste, plant material, and the crop material. So all these are used as the organic material, which are the manure, sewage, municipal waste, green waste, plant material, and the crop material. All these are typically used for the production of a biogas. So this material undergo for the fermentation with the help of a microorganism which is present in a soil. We are not adding the any microorganism by the artificially in that one. So here the biodegradation is the start with the help of all these are things in the anaerobic condition. So it is also called as an anaerobic digestion. Why it is called the anaerobic digestion? Digestion means this bacteria which is going for the fermentation, they are digest the things, they are eat all those things and produce a various type of a gas, and that gas is useful for the biogas. So here it is first of all the manure, sewage, municipal waste, green waste, plant material, and the crop material. All these are the organic material used for the biogas production. Biogas compress primarily methane. Which gases they are produced? First is the methane and second one is the carbon dioxide. Both gases are important for the atmosphere because carbon dioxide required for the plant is a photosynthesis. Second one is the biogas required for the burning of the chullas, and they have to produce the food, or they have to make a food on that land. Methane is used to various types of chullas, and this gas is used for the burning fuel. And this is carbon dioxide which is released for the atmosphere used by the plant for the photosynthesis. And small amount of a hydrogen sulfide H2S and the moisture is there. So due to the biodegradation, due to the fermentation, due to the anaerobic digestion, we are getting the methane, carbon dioxide, and small amount of the H2S. So methane is used as a fuel, carbon dioxide is used as a photosynthesis process. So in this way the biogas is there. So here is a one diagram how it is physical. This is the biogas plant. So here they are make a one type of a big area which is a 5 to 8 feet in the deep. So this is a first pit area they made underground because we require the anaerobic condition, and in anaerobic condition it is only in the dumping process. So here this dumping process is the activated, and the all the organic matter which is to be the waste material for the municipal corporation, then the plant material, then the waste material from the crop or the field, we have to dump. Then we add some amount of the soil here. After the adding a soil, again we have to dump the organic matter like plant-grade material, crop material, sugarcane material, which is the unuseful raw material. Then we have to add some amount of the water. Again we have to add a small amount of the soil because we are taking the bacteria or the microorganisms for the fermentation by the soil as a source. So here we have to add a soil again and again here, but a small amount of the soil only for the bacteria which is come from the soil. Then the water, then the all organic matter and the soil material is known as a slurry. Then slurry goes to the big tank which is nearer to the smaller tank. Then the digestion takes place in the anaerobic condition, so it is called as a digestion. And after the digestion, the carbon dioxide and methane gas is produced, that we call as a biogas. Then methane comes from this one, and we are used as a gas outlet for the burning process or the any different type of chulas. Then again the carbon dioxide released to the atmosphere. Then after the complete digestion of the slurry, then it is to be the removed to the second one. This is the second one pit where it is to be the put, and after that one we have to use as this slurry for the different activities in the ground level. So in this way biogas plant is work. So it's the first pit area, second pit area is the main biogas plant area where the biogas is produced, and here is the digester. Okay, so in this digester an aerobic condition takes place and the fermentation takes place with the help of the bacteria, and they are produced the methane and carbon dioxide both gas for the biogas production. Then how the biogas produced? First of all, the carbohydrate which is present in that raw material. Sometimes the fat is also present. Sometimes the other proteins material is also produced. So the carbohydrate, fat, and the proteins are present in that raw material. Then after that one, it is carbohydrate is converted into the sugar, fat is converted into the fatty acid, and the proteins is converted into the amino acid. So these are the two products which comes from this one. All these are the raw material. It is the raw material comes from the crop. It is the raw material comes from the plant. It is the raw material comes from the sugarcane. So all these are sometimes the household waste is also used. Municipal corporation waste is also used for the biogas production. The sugar, fatty acid, and amino acid is produced. After that one, all these are converted into the carbonic acid and the alcohol and the hydrogen carbon sulfide or the hydrogen carbon dioxide and the ammonia. These three gases will produce with the help of a microorganism. The digestion is started in the anaerobic condition and produce the organic acid and alcohol. Secondly, they produce the hydrogen, then produce the carbon dioxide and ammonia in a small amount. After the complete digestion of this one and the fermentation process completely, they produce the hydrogen, acetic acid and carbon dioxide. Hydrogen, acetic acid and carbon dioxide. Then there is the combination of the hydrogen and acetic acid and carbon dioxide takes place, and finally we are getting the methane and carbon dioxide. And this process is known as the methanogenesis. So this process is known as methanogenesis, and in the methanogenesis we are getting the methane and carbon dioxide. Methane is used as a biogas and the carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere, and this carbon dioxide is used by the plant for the photosynthesis. So in this way the process of a biogas takes place. So carbohydrate, fat and protein is to be the digested, and finally we are getting the methane and the carbon dioxide. And this complete process is the production of or the process of a biogas. After the production of a biogas, we are having the new topic, that is the biofertilizer or the microbial inoculant. So biofertilizers are the low cost renewable source of a plant nutrients. So we are getting the nutrients only from the plants, and it is a very low cost, means there is we are not required of money for this one. So it's biofertilizers. So biofertilizers are low cost renewable source of the plant nutrients. Then this biofertilizer is the improve the soil fertility and the crop productivity. Then for the soil fertility, we always require the fertilizers. Sometimes the farmer is use the chemical fertilizers, and sometimes they go for the biofertilizers to improve the crop productivity. It is very important. Every time we have to give the fertilizer to the crop, so we are getting a good amount of the soil fertility as well as the high yield of from the crop. They are ideal in food for the starting of organic farming. So here they are to the farmer which is use this biofertilizer is nothing but the organic farming. Then by using the biofertilizer, first is the maintenance of the soil is the excellent. So for the soil health, the biofertilizer is very very important. Secondly, the minimum environmental pollution. So you have to control the biomagnification, eutrophication. All these are the problems arises from the chemical fertilizers. But once you use the biofertilizers, the environmental problem become a very less. So environmental pollution is minimized with the help of biofertilizers. Then cutting down of the chemical fertilizers, and due to the use of biofertilizers, the use of a chemical fertilizer is to be the low. And once the chemical fertilizer use is low, then the eutrophication, then the biomagnification, then the numerous, even the reduced soil fertility, all problems is to be the reduced. And so it is very very important. So biofertilizers is a one type of a renewable source comes from the plant nutrient. And how it is become? It is comes by the microbial process. One is the plant material uh, digested or the fermented by a microorganism. The fertilizers is to be the produced. Then the role of a biofertilizers. First is the make availability of the nutrient. With the help of a biofertilizers, we are getting a numerous nutrients that are present in the plant. Second one is the root rhizosphere is more likely. The root which is having a one type of a rhizosphere. Rhizosphere is a root produce which is present in the root area, which is useful for the biofertilizers. Growth promoting substance are produced. So due to the biofertilizers, the growth is to the produced. Then the root proliferation is takes place. Better germination is takes place. Improve the quality and quantity of the product. Improve the fertilizer by using a efficiency. Then the biotic abiotic trace tolerance characteristics in takes place in the plant. Then improve the soil health. Then they improve the residual effect and make a system more sustainable. So by using, we are getting a numerous type of advantages by a biofertilizer. Then we are having a types of biofertilizers. The biofertilizers are first is a nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. Second one is a biofertilizer for the micronutrients. Then the next one is the biofertilizer, phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer. Next one is the phosphate mobilizing biofertilizer, and last one is the plant growth promoting rhizobacterium. So these are the 5 different types of the most commonly used biofertilizer. First is the nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, which is makes the nitrogen present in the atmosphere. Second is the biofertilizer for the micronutrients. So here the micronutrients phosphorus, sulfur, calcium, magnesium, iron. All these are the micronutrients present in the soil. So by using this one, we have to produce the biofertilizer. Then the phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer. Phosphate is also the one of the important substance for the DNA making, RNA making, the genetic material, genes making. So phosphate is also the very useful. And for this one, phosphate solubilizing bacteria is there. That is phosphate solubilizing bacteria produce the phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer. Then the phosphate mobilizing biofertilizer. Here the phosphate must be the moved from the soil to the root to the plant to the food. So this is a phosphate mobilizing biofertilizer. And last one is the plant growth promoting rhizobacteria. Here the plant growth promoting rhizobacteria is a bacteria, rhizobacteria, which is used, which is promote the plant growth. So this is a different type of biofertilizers used in the crop. First is the nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. It is a free living, symbiotic or associating symbiotic. So these three types of the nitrogen fixing biofertilizer is present. It is free living, it may be the symbiotically, it may be the associative symbiotically. Free living means azotobacter, clostridium, anabida and non-stop. All these are the name of a microorganism. So all these the microorganisms or the this anabida and all these are the microorganisms which can be used with the help of the soil and the root. They has to the fix the nitrogen which is free in living. So azotobacter, clostridium found in the soil. Azotobacter also found in soil. Here this anabida and non-stop found in a water source. So all these are the bacteria which are fix the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere. Second one is a symbiotically, where the both are to be the getting benefited, is called as a symbiotic relationship. So here symbiotic relationship is with the help of a plant and the bacteria. They are symbiotically. The plant get the nitrogen and the bacteria get the food from the plant. So both are benefited by the symbiotic, that is the rhizobium, then the frankia, then the anabina and the azolia. All these are the microorganisms use the nitrogen fixing biofertilizer by the symbiotic relationship with the plant. Then the associate symbiotic relationship. Here associate symbiotic relationship means here the association is takes place. Here it is not naturally, artificially we are get associated with this one. This is azospirillum. Azospirillum we have to add into the soil, and then there is a associated symbiotic relationship with the plant and the nitrogen fixation is takes place. So these are the three different types of nitrogen fixing biofertilizers. Free living nitrogen fixing biofertilizers by the azotobacter, clostridium, anabina and the non-stop. Then the symbiotic nitrogen fixing biofertilizers by the rhizobium, then the frankia, then the anabina and the azolia. And last one is the associated symbiotic nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, which is the azospirillum. So in this way the nitrogen fixation is takes place. Then the phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer are the bacteria and fungi. Both are to be used for the phosphate solubilizing matter. Phosphate is present in the rock area and it is very hard. Once it is come to the soil, then it is dissolved to the water, but it is not directly taken by the any type of plant. And we are also depend on the plant for the food. So we are getting the phosphate from the plant. So we are also dependent for the phosphate, and phosphate is very essential for the production of a genetic material. So here bacteria is there. This bacteria is a bacillus megaterium and a phospholerum. These are the two bacteria. Then the bacillus substance and the pseudomonas stickleya. All these are the four bacteria used for the phosphate solubilizing, and by using this one we are getting the phosphate solubilizing biofertilizers. Then the fungi is the penicillin, aspergillus, or this penicillin and aspergillus species both are to be used for the phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer, and it is associated with the plant, soil and the root, so that the phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer gets absorbed by the root and goes to the plant. Plant to their crop. That is we call it as a food production. Then the nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. It is a symbiotic relationship, and this is the diagram from this. So this is the root area where the nodules are produced. So this is the leguminous plant which are producing the beans or the pea beans, etc. So it is a bean producing bacteria where this nitrogen fixing is to be there, and it is present in the root nodule area. So these are the small nodules present on the root area, and this nodule consisting of the bacteria, especially the rhizobium is a bacteria which is present inside the root nodule. Then this bacteria is absorb the nitrogen from the soil and fixed into that nodule, and with the help of the root it comes to the plant. So this root nodule is associated, symbiotically associated, because they require the host for the leaf, and this host gives the food for them. So they give the nitrogen to the plant and they give the food to the bacteria. So both are to be mutually benefited to each other. So it is a symbiotic relationship between the plant and the nitrogen fixing bacteria, and it is called as a nothing but the rhizobium bacteria, and this rhizobium bacteria present in these root nodules for the nitrogen fixation. So this is belong to the bacterial group, and the classical example is a symbiotic nitrogen fixation. The bacteria infect the legume root and to form the root nodules, within which they reduce the microbial nitrogen into the ammonia, which is in reality utilizing by the plant to produce valuable protein and other nitrogen containing compounds. The site of the symbiosis is within the root nodules. It has been estimated about the 40 to 50 kg nitrogen per year, per hectare per year. So these are the root nodules. Inside the root nodules, there is a bacteria that is symbiotically associated. They are produce the nitrogen into the ammonia, which is utilized by the plant to produce the valuable proteins. So we are getting proteins from the leguminous plant, that is the bean plant, and with the help of that one, we are getting. So only the root nodule is the one of the things from where we are getting the nitrogen, because the nitrogen 78% of the nitrogen is present in the atmosphere, but we are not able to use this nitrogen. Without nitrogen, the body growth or the cell growth is not possible. We require everyday proteins, because the protein is used for the growth, and here the growth is required, and this growth is only takes place with the help of nitrogen, and nitrogen is comes from the plant by the in the form of a protein, and then protein is break down into the amino acid. This amino acid human being cells and the plant cells and the animal cells is used for the growth. So here the nitrogen only comes for the nitrogen fixing bacteria. Then the benefits from using the biofertilizer. So what are the benefits from the biofertilizer? First, it increase the crop yield by the 20 to 30%. So if your crop yield is less, then you have to use the biofertilizer. It will increase the crop yield with the 20 to 30%. Then replace the chemical nitrogen and the phosphorus by a 25%. So here we are replacing the chemical nitrogen and phosphorus by using the biofertilizer, because the chemical fertilizer contain the nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, all those things, but it produce a different type of the soil pollution as well as the water pollution. To avoid all this one, we have to replace the chemical fertilizer by the biofertilizer. Okay, it stimulates the growth. So it stimulates the plant growth. If the plant growth is stagnant, it is not to be increased, then you have to use a biofertilizer to stimulate the plant growth. Then the activate the soil biologically. So activated the soil biologically means the activation of the water holding capacity and plant giving the nutrition capacity. All these are to be increased by the these biofertilizers. Then the restore the natural soil fertility. So natural soil fertility also be important to increase the crop or the yield. Then the cost effective. So it is very much money consuming system. So here the cost is also the important. Then the supplement to the fertilizers. These are the all the supplements for the fertilizers. Eco-friendly. These are very eco-friendly because they are not using any type of pollution. Then they reduce the cost towards the fertilizer, especially regarding to the nitrogen and phosphorus, because every time we require the fertilizers in the crop. If you are not giving the fertilizers to the crop, then you are not getting a very good yield or the good quality of the yield. So fertilizer is must, but the chemical fertilizer is not a solution for all those things. So we have to use the biofertilizer. So it is very eco-friendly. Then it is the cost effective, because here the farmer is not able to get that much money from the area. So they are to the cost effective. So it is very low in cost. It is only the sometimes the farmer can be made itself that biofertilizer in their farm only. So that it is the very easy to make the biofertilizer. So it is to the increase the crop yield. Second one is it stimulate the plant growth. Third one is it increase the soil biological activity. It increase the natural soil fertility. It is cost effective. as a supplement to the biofertilizer. It is very eco-friendly. It is reduce the cost of the fertilizers. So all these are the benefits using the biofertilizers. Just you have to know the any 3 to 4 benefits or the advantages of a biofertilizers, because nowadays all the world is focusing towards the biofertilizer. So it may be the ask the question right down to be any two benefits from using the biofertilizer. So you have to write down any two. So you have to write down to increase the crop yield. Secondly, you have to do eco-friendly. Then you have to use the replace of the chemical activity, because these are the very good benefits. Otherwise, you are eco-friendly, then you have a cost effective. It is to be there, but you have to write the increase the crop yield first. Secondly, it replaces the chemical fertilizer. Thirdly, it stimulates the plant growth. So then you have to write down the cost effective, eco-friendly, then the supplement.